So this session, I'm basically going to go through, I have 4 ways listed to use Docusign. That's not the simple way that we teach it. There could be more, but these are 4 other ways that I know of. And if you guys know of a different way to use it, feel free to jump in and share it with us. So I've already created an opportunity in Command. And so when you click on the Documents tab, and then you click Start a Transaction, it creates the room in Docusign. So I still think it's the best way to do that, to get your room created in Docusign. That's why it's connected to Command. Your clients are pulled in. And then now that we're submitting documents through Command, it's a lot easier because you can just choose from the Docusign room that's attached to the opportunity. So I still think always it's the best way to create the room. Whether or not that's how you get to the room every time, I don't care. But the first time you create it should go this way. So you can see it created the room. It's called Docusign Training October 29th because that's what I named my opportunity. Jessica is my client. I have the right email address this time. So I think creating the room this way is the best, no matter what way you plan to use Docusign. So from here, so let's say I create the room, but now it's already created and I need to come back to Docusign. You do not have to go in that way. You can go to rooms.docusign.com and log in. So this, I'm on my dashboard. And if I go to the Rooms tab, it will show me all my rooms and I can find it there. So now that it's created, I can come in this way to use it, but please still create it from Command. So I can come back into the room this way. Okay, so I have 2 ways to show you to get documents in here from web forms. So I just have this filled out here. So a lot of people try to do it this way. They have in here, they have their Docusign connected to web forms. And then, oh, I don't know how to use web forms at all. Bear with me. I think I was here. So then once you have your Docusign connected to web forms, there's this little pen up here. And when you click that, it sends it to Docusign. Supposed to, there we go. So it automatically pulls it over into Docusign, which this is the way that NSAR pushes to use Docusign. So it's totally fine, but it doesn't put it in the room that you created. So here we are, I have the document that I just put, my recipients are not attached because it's not in the room. So Jess, I'm just gonna send this to you. Initial. So I'm going to send that. Jess, if you can quickly sign that, please. So now it brings me back to web forms. So in Docusign, there's 2 versions. We use the Rooms version. So you can see up in the top right corner, it says Docusign Rooms. If I click over here, I can switch to ESignature. And the ESignature is like the basic version. So when you use web forms the way I just did, it puts the documents in the ESignature side. So once I switch over here, if I come into manage, that should be in here. So it's very unorganized. It just, everything's listed together, no matter what it is, who it is. Actually, I don't see that in here.
Just finished it, so you should have it.
Okay. Okay, here it is. So it's in my completed. So it's here, I can look at it, but it's not in the room, which is attached to command. And it's totally fine. You can now download this from here if you want to, but that's not super convenient. So I'm going to switch back to my rooms version. I'm going to go to my room that I'm trying to put this document into. And in my Documents tab, I'm going to click Actions. Uh-oh, maybe they took this away. Oh no, I have to go to Envelopes. I have to go to Envelopes and click Add Existing Envelopes. And find it in my ESignature side. So here it is, and I can add it. So that brings it over into the Docusign room. So now in my Documents tab, that PDS is here that just signed. So that's one way. Okay, everyone okay with that one? Okay, I'm gonna go to number 2 then. So number 2, you can still do from Docusign, sorry, from Web Forms. So I'm on my document and I'm going to email it to Docusign. So recipient name, you can probably just say like Aaron Docusign. Recipient email. So in your Docusign Rooms side, if you click on Inbox up here, you have an email address. So if I send a document to this email address, it's going to come into my inbox. So I can, and make sure you say send as an attachment because you can only put PDFs in Docusign, so it needs to be an attachment. So I can email it. Now it does take a couple of minutes to come through. But it's eventually going to show up in your inbox. Now there is another way very similar. So still using the same email address, if you go into your Docusign room, every room has an ID number right here. If you make that ID number the subject line of the email, it will put the documents directly into the room instead of into the inbox here. Okay, that still hasn't come through. So I'm going to send that. So I'm going to email this one again. And so this time, I'm going to change the subject line. You have to include the hashtag. Send. So that one should come directly into my Docusign room. Again, it takes a couple of minutes. Okay, so this one, the first one I emailed is now in my inbox. So if I put the check mark there and then click move, I can move it to an active room. And there's my room that I'm using right now. So I can just move that over. So now it's not in the inbox and it's in my room. And then I can prepare it for signature and send it. And if I go to the room, eventually in the Documents tab, the one that I emailed will also come over. So that one hasn't yet. Here's the one that I just moved from the inbox, but the one that I emailed directly to the room hasn't come yet, but it will. So as long as you use the ID number as the subject line, it will come straight into your Documents tab of that room. Do both of those ways make sense? No questions? All right, on to the next. So this one should be pretty straightforward right now. Let's say you have a listing and you get emailed an offer from a buyer's agent. Instead of downloading it and uploading it to put into web forms, you could forward it to your Docusign email address. So pretty much the same as what we just did, just not from web forms. So if you I would add your Docusign email as a contact in your email. So you can just send it to like Aaron Docusign. So since these are already attached, if I send it this way, they'll come into my Docusign inbox, or I can change the subject line to be the ID number of the room I want them to go into. So pretty much the same as the other way we just did it, although a little bit more practical because you do get emailed documents from other agents all the time. So you just have to come in, make sure you change the subject line. And does everyone know how to do that? I guess I should make sure. So if I go to forward, if I click right here, I can edit subject. So I can change the subject line to be the room ID number. Does that way make sense? All right, you guys are very quiet. Okay, and then the last way that I know of to use it is to use, oops, I didn't need to come out of there, is to use the templates that Jess and I built. So I did send out videos and did a training on this way before, but just as a refresher, if you go to the envelopes tab to start a new envelope, I can use a template. You guys would have to say shared with me because you don't own them. Eventually it will load. There we go. And here's all of the documents that you can choose from. So let's just use actually, I get asked all the time for electronic trade record sheets. This is a great way to use it. So there's that. Let's do a counter because it's small. Because this room is attached to my command, it already knows that Jess is my client and it pulled her through as a contact in here.
Aaron, can I see where you went back to get into there? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just 1 second. I'm just going to finish this and then I'll go back and do it again.
Thank you.
Oh, there should be text fields here. Maybe I have to check this document, the template of this document, because it seems like nothing's pulling through. Oh, you know what? Might be. Oh, I know what I did wrong. All right, I'm going to start that over. I messed that one up. Okay, so to start, you have to go to the envelopes tab and start a new envelope. So every time you send documents, you send an envelope. And then when you're adding documents to the envelope, you're choosing from the templates. So when you click use a template, this will open up and you click on shared with me.
Okay.
But I missed a very important step when I went through it the first time. So let's choose counter again. But when you're adding your recipients, you have to use pre-tagged roles. I clicked on room participants, you have to use pre-tagged. So it's wanting a seller because obviously you're preparing a blank counter with your seller. So I am the agent and then my seller is Jessica. And now when I click next, it should have fields now. So yeah, don't forget that step because the templates don't work if you don't choose pre-tagged roles. There we go. So now you can see I'm in yellow. So it wants me to fill in the buyer's name, the dates, the address, PID, and then the content. So it wants everything in yellow is for the agent to do, and everything in blue is for the seller. So it's automatically going to pull in your seller's name. And then down here, it wants them to sign and then the date signed. So you don't have to pull over the text boxes or anything at all. When you use the templates, you don't even have to pull over the signature boxes. They're all there, but it's very important, as you just saw. It's kind of good that I messed up because you can see how important it is to use the pre-tagged roles instead of just choosing room participants. Now, she was still there. I didn't have to type in her email, but you have to assign Jessica as the seller within Docusign in order for these to pull through. So any questions on that way? No? All right, those are the 4 extra ways I know how to use Docusign that are a little bit more convenient, but a little bit more confusing. So I teach it the straightforward download, upload. It's definitely not the most efficient way to use it, but it's the least confusing. So there's obviously multiple ways how to use Docusign. There's probably more than that, but they're the ones that I know. So I just wanted to come on and show you guys different ways in case you prefer one of the other methods and you weren't aware of it. Does anybody know any other ways to use it?
Nope.
No?
I didn't know there was other ways to use it.
Yeah. It's very hard to teach because there's so many ways. And if you show them all, some people will get confused and mix them together.
Like I had no idea you could email like for the documents in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that way's super convenient. Like I said, when another agent emails you something, you can just forward it to your Docusign.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, I'm glad somebody learned something.
Yeah, no, good.
Good. Well, if nobody has any questions, that's all I have.
All right.
I will
Sounds good.
upload this to YouTube so you guys can reference it again if you forget or need a refresher or whatever.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, there's a chat question. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kelly, I know it's something, especially when it's all thrown at you at the same time. It's super easy to mix them together in your head. So yeah, it's on YouTube so you can watch it again. No worries. Bye.
Bye-bye.